All right, Shalom. This is Brother Tazabah from Arizona. I want to say, call halal Yahweh Shem Yahshai by Hashem Rakal Kadash. It's all praise to the world, cause God and Jesus Christ. The true names in Hebrew is Yahweh for the Heavenly Father and Yahweh Shai for his beloved Son. I also want to say double honor to the elders and apostles, great millstone, peace and mercy to the hopeful elect, preaching this word in truth and sincerity. We're coming into a time where economic collapse is going to happen. And that means a lot of these dainties that people had in this world are going to fail them. We're in that time. I did a little research, typed in on Google what is good growth for a business. It says the acceptable rate of growth is what you expect, is what you accept until you have bosses or owners or investors that establish something else. Industry overall grows about the same rate as the economy, which is 2 to 3% in a good year. The recent losses that we're having in economy are matching that. Because here it is, and this article is from October. It says the Market Watch. It says Dow falls 600 points and wipes out 2018 gains. NASDAQ enters correction territory. And really, they're not going to correct us anymore, man. This is 2 months ago. We're in December now. And it says overall, stocks ended sharply lower Wednesdays as losses accelerated into the close and put both the Dow and S&P 500 into red for the year. The NASDAQ entered correction territory. And that's what's happening. Now it says, how are major benchmarks faring? The Dow Jones Industry Average fell 606.11 points, or 2.4%, to $24,583.42 per share. This is while the S&P 500 SPX dropped 84.59 points, or 3.1%. You see, we just read that the average growth for any business is 2 to 3%, and these losses are covering that. And what does that mean for you, man? That means the economy is going to crash. That means job layoffs are going to happen soon. This says, what is the average business growth rate? It says businesses with less than 5 million in annual revenue, meaning your smaller private companies, some restaurant chains, some pharmacies that aren't, big, like your CVS's and all these things like that. Those would be grossing less than 5 million usually, in annual revenue. So it says on average, 7.8% annual sales growth during 2015. 2015 was the better market. Now we're in 2018, and the market is horrible. So let's say, you're expecting to make 8% growth. You made 2 million last year. You're expecting 8% growth. It's like another $800,000. Let me see, 8% of, let me get the math right on that. I don't want people to be, you simple. 0.08. That's an excess of $80,000 plus that you're expecting to make. Now, if you don't make that 8%, and you hire on that 8%, let's say you hire about 6 new employees that are making $15 an hour or something, your money is going to be eaten up. Your last year's revenue is going to be eaten up. Everything that you use to expand is going to be eaten up. So somebody has to go. And that's what we're seeing in the markets now. There's going to be mass layoff. You had a Ford lay off a bunch of people. GM lay off a bunch of people. Ford's no longer making their their Ford Focuses anymore. They're just making Mustangs and shit like that, and some of their trucks, I believe. You know, Chevy's no longer making the Cruze. You know, this is the times we're in. We're in a bear market. It says bull market over, meaning a market that goes up like a bull's horn when it bucks. His horns go up. Bull market over. Alan Greenspan tells investors to run for cover. It says former chairman of the U.S. Federal Reserve, Alan Greenspan, has warned investors to get ready for a painful correction in the stock market, as it cannot stabilize and unlikely to muster another rally. It would be very surprising to see a stabilize here and then take off again. You know, these things are happening because all these stock markets are going down because of tensions, trade wars, and uncertainty in the market. You know, trading on stocks is based off of faith, man. You got to believe that, you know, this is going to grow at this rate. You know, if I put this much in, I should be able to get this much in return. And it's uncertain because of all the tariffs. Now it says stocks headed south after Fed raises rates. It says U.S. stocks fell after Federal Reserve announced an unexpected increase of its interest rates, despite warnings from President Donald Trump and concerns over the global market shutdown. It says the fourth rate hike of 2018 lifted the target range for the Fed's benchmark overnight lending rate by a quarter of a percentage point to a range of 2.25% to 2.5%. You know, and we read about what's the average growth is 3%. Now you're having entire growth rate damn near eaten up by interest rates on lending. You know? And that's what everybody does. They lend to invest. It says in the S&P index briefly fell after an announcement on an announcement while the 10-year Treasury note went to its lowest point since May. And not only this, you have something called inverted yield curve, meaning, get this out so I can make a little. Show y'all what I mean. Now, let's say this is your graph. Stock market, say January, February, March, April, May, June, July. You get your 4 quarters of your year. And then you have amount of money you're making. This is your 4 quarters at the bottom, amount of money you're making on the top. So you start off the year pretty strong. Keep going up and up and up. Then at a certain point, your stocks start to drop. Then when it bounces back, barely gets to where your last drop peaked. Then you start going down. Stock markets start looking worse. And you go up to your last peak and you're just a little bit under it. Then you go down a little more. Then you rise up again. It looks like you're getting healthy again. You stop just under where you peaked. This is an inverted. You get a This would be an inverted yield curve, you see? And it's only going to get worse and worse. See, this is a positive yield curve right here, where you just keep going up, keep going up, keep going up. But this is inverted. This is when Every little bit that you made this year slowly gets chipped away. And that is a sign of a recession. And that's what we're in. Inverted yield curves. Meaning every single time you're making money, you're losing just a little bit. When you think you're going to be making some more of that money back, you're losing just a little bit more than what you thought. And that's the time we're in. What does that mean for prophecy? This is that means that the money is failing, you know? Genesis 47:15, it says, when the money fell in Egypt and in the land of Canaan, all the Egyptians came unto Joseph and said, give us bread, for why should we die in thy presence, for the money felleth? And that's what's going to happen, man. The money's going to fail, and people are going to go without bread. You know, this is what happens, man. And this is the signs at the end of this kingdom, this rulership. This is Isaiah 19th chapter, the 15th verse. It says, neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which head nor tail, branch or rush may do, because when you're losing this much money, you're losing all your gains for the year, and then you lose gains from the previous year, you're going to have to start letting go employees. And that's what we're coming into. That's why you have major chains like Sears, Macy's, some Walmart's shutting down, a lot of fast food places shutting down. You know, this is the times that we're in. It says, verse 16, in that day shall Egypt be like unto women, and it shall be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of Yahweh of hosts, which shaketh over it. Because in that day, when these things start to happen, and there's no work out here, and people aren't making money to be able to get by, they're going to fucking flip. You know, Salakia for my, word choice, but they're going to flip. You know, they're going to flip. Second Esdras, the 15th chapter, I believe it's 16th verse. It says, for there should be sedition among men and invading one another. They should not regard their kings nor their princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their hand, in their power. You know? Because at the end of the day, when these things start happening, people are going to start getting anxious, and they're going to start getting agitated to the point that they're going to come against the establishment. And at the end of the day, when they want bread, they're just going to, get it by any means, man. Because these police officers in that day aren't going to be working either, man. They're not going to be getting paid. They're going to be trying to figure out how they're going to feed their families as well. It's Isaiah, the 24th chapter. In the 7th verse, it says, the new wine mourneth, the vine languishes, all the merry hearted do sigh, and the mirth of tabrets ceaseth, the noise of them that rejoice endeth, and the joy of the harp ceaseth. They shall not drink wine with song, and strong drink shall be bitter to them that drink it, because in these last days there's not going to be this sense of enjoyment in this land, man. The Most High has determined a vicious judgment against this place, and it's going to start off, when this money starts failing. Egypt is going to fail. All these things are going to go down. This is Ecclesiastes 12:3. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened, and the doors shall be shut in the streets, and the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and the daughter of Nisa shall be brought low. Because at the end of the day, when the grinder ceases, meaning there's going to be no work, nobody's going to be able to get paid out here, and the money's not going to be worth anything. It's going to cost too much money to even eat, and it's going to be money that people can't even make. Talking about, $40 for a loaf of bread. $240 for 14 gallons of gas. That's going to be the time that's coming here soon, man, because the money is going to fail, the stock market's going to fail, and people aren't going to be able to work. There's not going to be jobs out here for people to work. This is Proverbs you know, because at the end of the day, when this economy was going good, you people trusted in it. This is Proverbs 11:28 says, "He that trusteth in riches shall fall, but the righteous shall flourish as a branch." You see? So whatever you trust in this world, if it was the Lord, you're going to be fine, man. But if it was these riches, it's not going to go well with you. I believe it's Sirach, the 21st chapter. Let me get this. It's going to be the last precept. Sirach 21:4, it says, "To terrify and do wrong will waste riches," man. And that's what Esau, the so-called white man, has done throughout the world. That's why now everybody's trying to come up with a way not to use this dollar. Because there's no benefit for him. He's terrified and he's done wrong. And it's wasted his riches because everybody's walking away from him now. It says, "Thus the house of the proud man shall be made desolate," man. And it's starting to happen more and more, and it's starting to move quicker. You have a government shutdown, which that's going to hurt a lot of people because at a certain point, if they can't make an agreement on this wall, what happens with government shutdown? Government benefits get frozen. Food stamps, EBT, WIC, all those things that a lot of people are depending on just to get by, those things are going to be shut off. Nobody's going to get those benefits. So then a lot of you women out here, especially you tribes that use these benefits that shat on your man this whole time, you're going to be in pitiful case. So with Lord willing, this is edifying. Keep your eyes on these things, man. This place is about to fall. I want to say, call halal, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, by Shem Rakar Kadash, double honor to others and apostles of great millstone, and peace and mercy to a hopeful elect. Shalom.